Hi everyone, my name is Mauricio Camelo. I'm part of the Big Data course and the Data Science and Analytics specialization from UNAP University. Well, today we're going to go through the phase 3, the exercise 2. Basically, here in this video, we will go through the full process of installing, configuring, and executing the Hadoop single node cluster in Ubuntu. We are going to use the Node 1 machine that is provided in the course, and we're going to finalize uh, running a custom data science analytics job in Hadoop. For that, I have here the virtual machines running in Oracle VirtualBox. All sources that we need to develop this exercise are in the machine basically, and we're going to follow instructions how to start all services for Hadoop first. For that, we are going to start opening a terminal, and here we are going to execute some commands which are going to help us to set up all the environment to run the um, exercise in Hadoop. So first step, we're going to enable our first cluster with Yarn with the version 2 of HDFS. For that, we're going to run these commands that are very fast. I'm going to run again that last one. Okay, good. It seems I copied with a new line character, but that's fine. In case the any service in the nodes for HDFS are running or Yarn, we need to stop them, right? So for that, we are going to run this command to stop the DFS, and then we need to go um, to the folder where we have the Hadoop. Okay, this is going to take some time while it's stopping all the services in the local host. Okay, now it's done. Let's continue going to the folder where we have Hadoop, and we're going to configure also the SSH keys. Uh, it's possible that previously in this machine we already have some SSH key generated previously. So in that case, we need to overwrite it. Yep. So we choose yes, and then we need to authorize the keys and the files with the next two commands. I'm going to execute that last one again just to make sure we did it properly. Yes. And for the SSH, the final part is to format the file system. So why we're doing this? Because Hadoop requires a passwordless communication between the services. So we generate all the keys and authorize them locally, so the cluster daemons can start automatically without manual intervention. So continuing with the exercise, the next step is to launch the Hadoop daemons. For that, we need to restart some services, correct? With the sudo commands. Sudo means super user commands. So it's possible that with the user we are logging into the machine, we're going to get some warning, but it doesn't mean that it's failing. It's just a warning. And what we have to do is just type the same password we used to log in into the machine, virtual machine. Right? This is the expected message. It doesn't mean again that something is failing. It's just a warning. So for all commands we're going to execute with sudo, this is going to happen. So we need to keep typing the password until we restart or start all the services. And there you have, that's the last one. So we need to continue uh, initiating the cluster and then the yarn with these commands. First the cluster with start dfs sh command. This is going to take a little bit of time. And once we finalize with all of these commands to set up our Hadoop environment, we can go to the Hadoop page in our local host and check that the cluster environment, everything is running and configured. Okay, first one is done. Let's continue with the yarn. This is quicker. And let's check. I'm going to open a browser window to check the status of our Hadoop environment. This is the URL we need to use, localhost in the port 570. Here we have the datetime from today, just few seconds ago, version compilation, the cluster ID and the pool, which means that now it's running. We can continue configuring our workspace to load our input and get our output for the analytics exercise. So I have created my own comments, to personalize my workspace. So we're structuring our distributed file system. Again, I have created personalized workspace for Mauricio Camelo, my name, and this is basically to ingest the raw test data into the HDFS directory, right? So for that, let me open a new console because we need to be in the directory with which the data is remaining. And let me start with the first Hadoop command, that is to create the directory input. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Now here we are created like the landing place, which we are going to use to load the data from our word count Java Java file. So with these Java C commands, that's what we are going to do, right? Here, basically, to process the data, we compile our work on Java code using the Hadoop class pack. We package the result into a custom jar file. So once we execute these two commands, uh, one jar file is going to be created in the path, and it will be ready for the deployment. Okay, let me continue with the next command to create the jar. Okay, that was very quick. So you see here the logs. We have the tokenizer mapper, the reducer, and the class, which is the code that we have for here inside. And this is the file, the jar file we just created with the comments. Now, next step is to execute the maps reduce job because we already have our uh, Java files and all configuration in the Hadoop. So how we do that? With a Hadoop command invoking the jar that we just create. With this, we're going to create the output after process all data we put it in the input, right? So once we check the environment in Hadoop, we're going to see the input and the output, the logs for both of them. So also here in our terminal, we're going to see the logs in general for the resources consumption and the work that MapReduce did to process the data. Finally, we need to see the results, right? So when the job is complete, as we just saw, we can check the summarized frequencies for our directory. Our Hadoop is fully operational, it's working well, it has processed all the data successfully, and this is thanks to all the commands we just use. let's check the output. It should show us now the summarized frequencies. Oh, sorry, I think I repeated the previous one. And here with this Hadoop FS cat, here we have the output path, and here we are seeing the summarized frequencies. Now let's check what happened on the file systems in Hadoop. We need to see my environment, Mauricio Camelo's environment, one that I just created, and there inside we need to see the logs for the input and the output. You can see my fifth 6:34 p.m. the input 6:38 6:36 p.m. for the output, which is matching with the timestamps um, that belongs to the executions in the terminal, right? So that's the same. So that's the exercise here. Machine is working perfectly. As you can see, we have configured the Hadoop environment inside the, the virtual machine, and that's how we can use all of these tools together to do a very quick analysis and use this kind of big data tools that will allow us to manage the data in a more efficient way. Thank you so much for the time.